So, good morning, friends. I am sorry if I worried you with my last video. I just felt like it was something that needed to be talked about, and I want to talk about it again today, a little bit. But I wanted to give you an update. I just the last few days have honestly just been so crazy, and any of you who have been following my love saga and have any interest in it whatsoever, which I'm sure some of you do because we're all looking for love, right? Romantic love in some ways is where it's at. I was at my son's soccer game this weekend, and I was talking with one of the other soccer moms, and she, was so sweet, and I was talking to her a little bit about stuff, and she, had suggested, that we meet somebody when we least expect it. And I just sort of laughed, and I said in a very, very respectful, because I don't, want to hurt anyone's ideas or anything, but it's just my assertion that it is just random in some ways. Because I told y'all that I was single for 6.5 years. That's quite a long time. And it didn't matter if I was, if I was expecting or I wasn't, or I was dressed up or I wasn't. So I'm going to make the assertion that when the universe is it's like the universe brings people together. It's like it's meant to be. And that moment, it's almost like the stars align and it just happens. I don't know. And it doesn't seem to be, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it exactly. And I'm not even saying I'm correct. But anyway, so there's a third guy, but I'm going to get rid of the first one because the first one is done. The first one is done. And then there's a second one. And then somebody has come along, which is super interesting because about 6 weeks ago, I had gotten with him. He had posted something on his Instagram that really struck me, and I had sent him a message, and we were messaging back and forth a little, and it's also been very confusing for me. Is this really who I'm talking to? Because I really haven't always known. And anyway, but I had some conversations with him, and then we sort of I didn't hear from him, or he didn't hear from me, and it just kind of fizzled out. And then he did something very creative. And he got with me, I think under some kind of alias. I'm not really sure. Anyway, so it's so interesting because I have been watching his, and he is just on fire right now. Just on fire. So now it's just sort of thrown a wrench, and anyway, I just wanted to give you an update, and we'll see. But I wanted to talk about the idea of being alone. It's this has been espoused to me so many times, you really need a lot of time alone. You just, you got to be alone so you can discover yourself. And it's not that I really believe in jumping from relationship to relationship to relationship. It's really not that. But like I had said in previous videos, everything about us is social. It's we are social beings. And if you go back to the Bible that I somewhat believe in, I believe in parts of it. But if you go back to Adam and Eve, God created man because man was not meant to be alone. So, and our bodies, like babies, if they're not nurtured, and they can be fed by a bottle, which is so curious to me. When I see not that I didn't do this kind of thing ever, but when I see moms just propping a bottle with their baby, they can be fed, but if they're not held, they can die. So we're really like meant to be social. And I found this like really great clip. I mean picture. And it says, you know, she was so lonely, she held her own tail. This elephant was so lonely. And then it shows the elephants that are in the wild that are together. When I saw this this picture, I found it just horrifying. It really upset me greatly. I think that we're meant to be, there's a reason why we're in families. And I think that cultures that value the family, you know, have more longevity. Anyway, but I wanted to get on to, I really want to talk about Robin Williams today. Because I was telling y'all that I pay attention to things. And when he passed away, I had done some research, you know, and he had been on a medication, an antipsychotic medication. And I honestly cannot remember which one it was, but he had only been on that medication for 7 days. He had only been on that medication for 7 days when he took his life. And it makes me wonder if he like really indeed was not in his right frame of mind. Because sometimes these medications make people do crazy stuff, like, you know, these stories about these soldiers who, you know, go off their meds and go crazy and end up going in somewhere and shooting up people. Anyway, but I had also heard this story about a family member. I had gone to this wedding with my second husband, and they had told me the story about one of their family members who, and he was on an antipsychotic medication as well. And he ended up going out in a field, dousing himself with gasoline and lighting himself on fire. Anyway, but I wanted to talk a little more about Robin Williams, going back to Robin Williams. I was looking up some of his quotes because I wanted to find this one. I thought it was about loneliness, but I think this one is more important. And it says, no matter what people tell you, words and ideas can change the world. He certainly did change the world. He changed mine. But anyway, I was reading some of his quotes, and it seems like the women, or I don't know how many divorces he had been through, but it seemed like he had been through some pretty horrific or like bad divorces where women had just really, you know, given it to him financial, it seemed like. And I felt really sad about that was his experience, because women can be like that. Women can be really horrible in court. I'm just going to admit to that. I don't understand how two people who like say that they love each other and go have children together and try to have a life together part so horribly. Like I don't understand how you just go from love. I mean, I guess love to hate. I don't know. Actually, I had written about it a few years ago. I'd written about, because I was a mediator with the court for a while, and hate is just a much easier emotion than pain. It's a lot easier to just hate someone and just hurl dirt at them and daggers, and than to just really feel the pain of the loss of your identity, the loss of your family. So we just, turn to hate instead of feeling the pain. Anyway, so this is it for today. My 10 minutes are up. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll come back with more ideas because, I just love ideas. Okay, and I love you guys too. Bye.